So I'm trying to be calm, and I'm trying to just let things happen because I can't move things quicker by wigging out about them. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't help anybody. It's just hard not knowing. Because I'm 28 weeks and 2 days today, and on Tuesday, when I was 28 weeks, exactly, to my knowledge, I went to go see my midwife, and she and her assistant, both of them, measured my fundal height with a measuring tape, and both of them got, well, midwife got 34 weeks pregnant, and the assistant got 35 weeks pregnant. I've had measurements done before. I've had ultrasounds done before. The ultrasounds dated him about a couple weeks ahead. So we just always thought he was a big boy. And then I saw my friend, who's a midwife, and she palpitated my abdomen and thought I felt, like when I was like 12 weeks, she said, oh, you feel more like 14 weeks. And the ultrasound where she measured the baby's femur and the baby's head circumference, she said that baby was measuring a couple of weeks ahead. So he measures a little big, and then all of a sudden I see my midwife yesterday, and she tells me that he's measuring more, or at least my fundus is, my uterus is measuring a couple of weeks, not even just a couple of weeks, it's like 6 weeks ahead. So, a big uterus, and we don't know if it's a big baby yet, like we can't tell that until I have an ultrasound, and I will be having an ultrasound. A big uterus could mean a few things. It can mean I'm further along than I thought I was. That, my due date is different than we've been thinking. It's sooner. It could mean gestational diabetes. I could be baking a really big baby because of gestational diabetes. I could just be baking a really big baby. He could just be a big boy. Or it could be excess amniotic fluid, which is an indicator, which could be an indicator of abnormalities, especially abnormalities of the GI tract, or things that affect the baby's swallowing, because the baby isn't swallowing and processing the amniotic fluid the way he should be. Excess amniotic fluid could mean complications in birth, like prolapsed cord, umbilical cord. The cord might come out before the baby does, and that's a problem. It could mean I read something that said it's a marker for Down syndrome, and we didn't do any of the testing. It could make me bleed more in childbirth. So that's why I'm wigging out. But there's also a lot of reasons why I could just believe that I'm further along than I've been thinking I am. There are reasons why that is likely to be the case. For instance, I was starting to have Braxton Hicks contractions at 18 weeks, and I think that that's really early. And I it wasn't just, I mean, my husband and I had been having unprotected sex. It wasn't just that we started to have unprotected sex when I think that we conceived in May, at the beginning of May. We were also playing around and being risky in April, around when I would be ovulating. I found emails where I'm poking fun at him, talking about how he'd better save his money if he plans on getting me knocked up, because we can't be doing that, you know, all willy-nilly, and we've got to be careful, or something like that. And that was just a couple days after an online calculator told me I might have been ovulating. So we were monkeying around in April, around the time I would have been ovulating. My Braxton Hicks contractions were early. I don't know. And I know that it could very well be gestational diabetes, and that would suck, and I don't want to deal with that, and I don't want to worry about that. But my midwife does a urinalysis, just like a regular pee stick with a bunch of indicators on it, every time I come in to see her. And every time I come in to see her, my glucose is fine. I'm not dumping glucose into my blood or my urine. That's not happening. And if I had excess amniotic fluid, then I would probably also have swelling ankles and feet. And that's not a problem that I've been having yet. And she's told me she really doesn't think it's gestational diabetes. She might just be trying to make me feel better. But I did gain 11 pounds since she saw me last, like a month, 4 weeks. My records indicate that I gained more like 9 pounds, and I weigh myself naked in the morning without, I weigh myself on the same scale in the morning naked, so I trust mine more than hers, but I gained 9 pounds in 4 weeks. But she thinks 11. So I did a glucose screen at her office, and we did that on Tuesday, and I texted her today to find out if the results were in, and she said that the lab had screwed up my sample. So tomorrow I get to go and redo the glucose screen and get that done. I'm also seeing a midwife at a hospital. I'm seeing a home birth midwife, and she doesn't have the ability to ultrasound or anything like that. So what I'm doing is I'm establishing care at a hospital, the hospital that we would go to in a non-emergency situation where I would need to get to a hospital in case home birth wasn't working. So I'm establishing care at a hospital, the hospital we want to go to in that case. And during that visit, when I establish care on Tuesday, I'm also going to tell them what we've been seeing, me and my midwife, my home birth midwife, and they're going to hopefully order an ultrasound for me so that I can have that done with a radiologist's report, and so we'll have that. So I'm just trying really hard to breathe and let things happen and relax. It's just really hard not knowing whether or not I'm 28 weeks pregnant or almost 32 weeks pregnant. That's a big honkin' difference. it's a lot of time of preparation to lose, but I would be overjoyed if what is going on right now is just that I lost a few weeks of prep time, because gestational diabetes would suck, and I don't want to worry about excess amniotic fluid, and I don't know, I guess my midwife doesn't care if I have a 12-pound baby, but I do. I don't want a 12-pound baby, not necessarily. So that's what's going on, and I just wanted to rant because I can't figure it out, and I don't know what to do. And I mean, that period that I had, the period I had at the end of April, my last menstrual period, to my knowledge, the last menstrual period that I thought was what we were measuring by, it was normal. It was normal, and it wasn't light, and it wasn't spotting, and it wasn't short. It didn't fit the description of breakthrough bleeding. Just flipping out a little bit, that's all. I can't. I have to breathe and just sit tight, and I mean, what's worrying is not going to help. It's not going to push anything along faster. It just doesn't. Dang it.